Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier. So in my previous video I started discussion on the project that is handwritten character recognition. Okay, you can use this particular project in image processing, you can use this particular project in machine learning or computer vision domain also. Okay, so what we have done till now, we have tried to extract different features which are useful for training our machine learning model. Like from a particular character we can compute median, then mean absolute deviation for computing the span, then how many local minima or local maxima present, okay, when we plot the x coordinates or y coordinates with respect to time, that can also be treated as feature. Okay, and in my previous video I have also discussed that what is the velocity, maximum velocity along x and y direction, that also can be treated as one feature. Right now in this particular video I am going to discuss some more interesting feature extraction. Okay, so CLC, clear all, close all, warning off. Okay, as you generally write. Then for this particular discussion purpose I am taking a simple dataset, read table, and again this is one handwritten character dataset. Suppose someone has written something on tablet, then at each time instant what is the x coordinate value, what is the y coordinate value, how much pressure the person is giving for writing the particular character at that particular point, all this information is present in 4 different columns. Right, so basically here v1 dot txt I2. Okay, so here I am reading that. Let me just run this particular piece of code and let me show you the data, raw data once. Okay, so here you can see 22 cross 4. First column is indicating basically the time, which is basically you can see it is started from 0. Okay, at 0th instance when the person has started writing, that is this value. var2 and var3 is basically the corresponding x and y coordinates, and var4 is amount of pressure given at that particular location. Now what we can do, we can just plot the character and let's observe this. So x dot var2 comma x dot var3. Okay, right, here I can give line style according to my choice. If you want you can give anything other also. Right, so let's run this. So this is actually our V, okay, handwritten V. Now just try to observe one particular pattern. So here we are having x coordinates value, y coordinates value, right? So if you are able to calculate the correlation in between x and y, these two features, then that correlation value can be also treated as one input feature for our machine learning model, right? So we are going to compute that. Before going to that, here one interesting pattern you just try to observe in this particular V shape. Here before this particular point, if x value increasing, that is if we are going from left to right, that time see y value decreasing. Okay, then after this particular point, if x increasing, then y also increasing. Okay, that means in this direction we will be getting negative values, in this direction we will be getting positive values. Right, so basically let me just show you that. Okay, so here overall correlation, if we want to calculate, we can simply write correlation of x dot var2, that is my x coordinates, and x dot var3, that is my y coordinates. That's all. Right, so now let's run this particular piece of code and we are getting none. That is not a number. But why so? If you observe the data x, see here nan is appearing, and if nan value, that is not a number, is present, that time you will be getting nan as outcome. Okay, and what is this particular function? This particular function basically computes the correlation between the columns whatever we are passing. So x dot var2 is x direction values, x dot var3 is y direction values. These two columns we are taking correlation. Okay, but we need to avoid the nan. So what we can do, let us write help corr. Okay, and let us try to understand if there is some option to remove the null values, okay, or ignore the null values. Okay, so this is linear or rank correlation it computes. Anyway, let me just go to documentation. Okay, and here documentation opens. Right, so in the name value pair, let me check type of correlation, rows to use in computation. So if rows is all, use all rows in the input regardless of missing values, that is in regardless of not a number values. Complete, use only those rows, those input rows which is having no missing values, right? So what we can do, we can pass these rows with complete, right? So CLC, and here we will be doing rows complete. Okay, now let's compute the correlation. 0.6493. So this is the overall correlation for our x coordinates and y coordinates. Now this one we can use as feature, because this x and y coordinates correlation will be different for different English alphabets, right? But what I have told you here, we want to see this kind of pattern where we'll be computing the correlation for this particular part, and I'll be showing you that correlation value is negative, because here as we are going from left to right, that is increasing values of x, y value decreasing. Then from this point onwards, with increase in x, y value increasing, that means for this particular part we should get positive correlation. Okay, so let me check how many data points there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. For 11 data points we should get negative correlation, right? So let's do that. So correlation of, I'll be just simply copying this one, this line, Control C and Control V. Okay, but here we want to take first 11 data points, and here also I'll be doing the same. Okay, and I'll be copying this and pasting here, and from 12 onwards, okay, that is index 12 onwards to end. Okay, what we'll be doing, we'll be computing the correlation. And so now let's run. Okay, so basically here you can see that the answer is expected. So this is our overall correlation. As I have told you, for first 11 data points we are getting negative correlation, minus of 0.9927, and for the rest of the data points we are getting highly positive correlation, 0.9956, right? So this is one way. Or if you want to get correlation matrix for considering this as input features and creating one matrix, you can do that. Like here I am creating one matrix, AM equal to one empty matrix. And now what I will be doing, first 11 data points for x coordinates will be putting, and here I'll be putting the rest data points. First 11 y data points we are putting in the second column, and last y values we are putting at the end. Now what we can do, we can compute the correlation for this one. Okay, and again I'll be passing this parameter as key value pair. Now I'll be deleting this two, this also actually not required. Now let's check. So this time we will be getting matrix. Okay, so see, first check our M matrix. Our M matrix is storing what? This is our first 11 data points of our x coordinates. This is our first 11 data points of y coordinates. This is first from 12th index to last data points for our x coordinates, and this is 12th index to last coordinate for our y data points. Okay, right? And if you check the correlation matrix, we are getting this. Obviously along the diagonal we will be getting 1 as expected. And see, this first column is for first 11 data points of x, and second column is for first 11 data points for y. Okay, this one is for from 12th index to last index for our x, and this one is for from 12th index to last index of y. Similarly row wise, this is first 11 data points of x, this second one is first 11 data point of y. Okay, so you just see, this one is basically correlation in between first 11 data points of x and first 11 data points of y, which is clearly negative, right? And if you check this one, 0.9956, or what we are getting here, this is what? This is basically correlation in between from 12th index to last index for x and for our y, okay, which is positive. So this is indicating that whatever we have tried to derive from theoretical intuition is matching, okay, right? You can follow my previous approach also, no problem. Anyway, actually we are more interested in this particular feature, correlation of overall correlation of x and y variable, right? So this we can treat as input feature for training our machine learning model, which I am going to discuss in my upcoming videos. So like this, different features we can extract from this dataset. See, from simple dataset, how many features we have extracted. In the initial stage, we have just used two features, that is duration to write the particular character and aspect ratio, that is height along y direction divided by height along x direction. But this time many features we have achieved, minimum number, that is count of minimum points for local minima, then count of points for local maxima, then MAD, that is mean absolute deviation, correlation, all this, and this all going to help in training our model, right? Code and dataset will be posted in the description box. If you want, you can go through that. Thank you.